Good morning. Wake up with Giants TV right here, right now. It's starting. Have you ever wondered the importance of feeling good? I feel good right now. Good morning, Giants. To Wake up with Giants TV. I'm Ryan Morris. This is Nick Smith. Like us on Facebook.
Or don't. Either way works. Give
Yeah,
us some attention. You could give us attention in the form of not liking us and it would still be okay.
but I wouldn't feel as good.
No, definitely not. I like that lead in. That was perfect.
Some of my feel good comes from some natural stimulants. Was
Yeah,
this
yeah.
natural? I don't think there's
Well,
anything
yeah,
natural
no.
about this.
Naturally made in a factory somewhere in the United States.
Yeah, but let's
Caffeine.
talk. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, feeling good. Yeah. So I have no idea where this is going to go, but we're going to go for it. Uh, the idea of feeling good, if you think about the creative process, is that when you feel really down or anxious or sad, it's really hard to get things done. There's no motivation in it. There's no energy in it. And what we tend to do is not have any allowance for things like that. If somebody's sad, I remember going through the divorce and going into work and saying, yeah, I'm struggling. I mean, I was crying at work. It was that impactful. And one of my managers says, it's not really our problem. You need to figure it out and get back here. Right. There's no allowance. And I could, in a way, just put it over there. Like, I can't feel better and I can't move forward because of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy is doing what he knows to do, but it's not his responsibility to make me feel good. So in a way, I could see how that statement is true. It's not his responsibility. That felt a little cold at the time, but the understanding that all of that responsibility is back on me to feel good. Now I can lean on others, but it's not their responsibility to make me feel good. But the importance of feeling good is that it opens up the entire body to creation. And we get in this fear. I almost think of like when you're in the creative process on Ghostbusters, when they're like, don't think any thought. You like wipe your mind of thoughts. And he's like, uh,
Uh,
stay puft
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
He's like, I tried to think of the sweetest, nicest thing as I could, and it didn't matter. There's some give and take in that feeling bad. Like if you're in the creation process and you have a down day, it's not going to ruin your whole vision. When I look at the Kickstarter campaign, there were periods where I felt really down and insecure in it and uncertain and afraid in a way that we weren't going to reach our goal. But there's some allowance for that in the creative process. If creation was all about like reading your thoughts and emotions and acting on all those, my life would be a mess. It would be just pure chaos. Like every thought mattered. I mean, that's 50,000 thoughts a day plus for each of us on average. Could you imagine the chaos that would create? It's like trying to act on every one.
There'd be a lot of Stay Puft Marshmallow Men in my life.
Yeah, imagine like in your case, you have ADHD. Like, wow, man, the universe would be just trying to keep up. It'd be like that's a beautiful thing, and I'm so grateful that there's some allowance in it. Some grace inside of that creative process.
There should be a movie on like a minute in the mind of Ryan
A
Morris.
minute in the mind, yeah.
It's like a lifetime of chaos.
A mad minute in the mind of Ryan. Yeah, mad chaos. That would be interesting, right? That the every time you have any thought, it's created immediately and instantly based off that thought or emotion. So the crazy thing is that your thoughts, when they're triggered, what's going on is your brain is trying to make sense of the environment. And so it's got to process all those thoughts. And then you've programmed it in such a way that it pulls in what's important to you, your beliefs. And so as it pulls it in, then those beliefs and thoughts that are important are anchored in with emotion. And that emotion is your driver. And so it'll either shut you off or move you forward. It's you think of neurons, they fire all or nothing. So they don't just partially fire. It was, oh, I'm going to step back. I made a mistake there. So go ahead. What's the comment? I'm curious now.
The other day, I did a little awareness thing about a pap
Yeah.
smear,
Oh
just trying to show support for women. And then
you.
see, those
Yeah.
that's the craziness that goes on in my life there. But
So yeah, go ahead.
so
What's coming up?
so I was thinking about creation and like
Yeah.
creating from that space, and it you can. There's a book, what feeling is the secret,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Being Ryan Morris. Yeah, right, Jen? That would be chaos. That'd be great. Creative chaos.
Hey, we'd have a good time.
Hey man, you have a beautiful mind. Uh, keep going though. Do you remember where you left off?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, keep going.
Well, see, it was the secret. Going
Yeah.
back to like the
The
movie, The
feeling is
Secret.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's there's that component of manifestation where you think about, hold it in your mind, find a parking space that you want, see it, and then
Yeah.
magically it appears. And that's like low level manifestation, and it's good. It works. There's things like that, but
I
the
think that's lottery level
yeah, I
manifestation.
think
Like you just
it's
yeah.
a smaller thing, and I still think it exists and it's real. Holding that image of what you want. Vision boards are good, but the purpose of the vision board, the purpose of these things is to get into a space of feeling good. Is that vibration, in the attraction.
Yeah.
Um, and
Can
if you,
I expound when keep going.
yeah, yeah,
I'll
no,
just jump right
yeah,
in.
go.
You're like, thank God, because I really had nothing following that. So this is perfect.
I've got
Like,
lots
I
on
just want to, yeah.
manifestation, but you ready, steady, spaghetti.
Well, okay. So in that manifestation, it's not just about thinking it or having the vision of it, because I have vision boards on my wall, but there's a distinction between having that on my wall as though it would be nice and getting into action about creating it. And if you're feeling depressed or sad or anxious, a lot of times we don't move. Like one of the F's in anxiety is to faint or to flee, right? To run away from the thing. And so when that emotion is present, we have this tendency to run away from our dream. If we're feeling sad, depression is literally a loss of power in the body. You shut down. And so when you're in that shutdown, there's no creative action that's coming out of it. So like you're talking about the visual of creating a parking space. Yeah, you could do that at a low level and create it, but to really go after it is to go into it with this action of creating that space and taking every possible action you could to make it happen, and understanding that if it didn't happen, you'd be okay. And also looking at there are other possibilities around that may be equal to or better than
Mm-hmm.
that outcome, but it's all around the action. Like when you feel good, notice what people do. They dance, they call and laugh with friends, they go out to dinner, they do all these active, fun, creative things. And when you're in that depressed state and that anxious state, you tend to go the other direction. You can get destructive. You can get almost like a hermit, like you get like Nick Smith in a way, and like hide away in your cave for hours on end. Like what comes up around that as you hear that?
Yeah, and they touch on it in the secret. They touch
Yeah,
on that. They show it as like a shockwave going out. It's that, as they're feeling something,
yeah,
or as they're putting something in their mind. I'd agree with that. It's the vibration that you're on that pulls in that thing, and then as you go to work, not knowing all the exact way to get there, but stepping forward, I guess what I'm going to call it, in faith and moving forward,
yeah,
that that as you move forward in that, do everything that you can do, as Steve Hardison would say,
Yep.
to hit your goal, trusting, that the rest will be filled in.
So here's where people might get hung up around this is, well, does that mean that I'm just going to create chaos in my life if I'm feeling down? Does that mean that I can't ever have access to these
Hmm.
bigger things in my life because I'm anxious? The answer is no. Here's your chance to be selfish in a way. And it's not selfish, it's self-interested, self-care, self-soothing. Like your goal is to feel good. And it's not that you need to feel good with the intent of creating. It's like, oh, I got to get to the other side, because that puts so much pressure on you, you tend to stay stuck. And so the goal is to just do things that make you feel good, because what happens automatically is when you feel good, you want to do amazing things. Like if you're feeling anxious, then looking at tools to get you into a space of feeling good, not creating, not going from anxious to creation. It's going from anxious to feeling good, from that sadness to feeling level and in
Mm-hmm.
homeostasis. And so that might look like somebody going to get a massage because it feels good. That might look like, in some cases, some people might have a beer or some wine because it helps them feel good. They might go talk to a friend or watch a funny movie because it helps them feel good. Um, there's all kinds of tools. When you look at dialectical behavioral therapy, for example, if somebody has really intense emotions, DBT gives tools to manage those emotions, to just survive them. Like some people think it's not okay for me to even be in this space. It's not okay for me to survive these emotions. But sometimes you literally have to survive the emotion long enough to open up space to get up another notch to feeling good. And so it's okay to just survive emotions. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but giving grace to that, like you're going to go into some dark spaces in this journey. It's part of the book. It's part of the 12-step process that we have in the Giants journey. Is how do you feel good when you're depressed? One is survive the emotion. I'd like to pull that up for Hugh here. If I'm feeling depressed, it's because I want to do something fun. When I'm depressed, I don't want to do anything at all. Okay. Yeah, when I'm depressed, I don't want to do anything. Like I barely want to get out of bed.
I think
Right?
part of it too is like being conscious of your thoughts, feelings, the emotions there.
Yeah.
The quicker that you can transmute that or change that, the faster you'll grow into or go back into the creation process.
Yeah.
Or the positive, maybe we call it I don't know if it's like a positive, negative. I don't think there's a right and wrong there, but, um, you know, getting closer to what you want, what you really want.
What you
Uh,
really, really want. Tell me what you want. What you really, really want. I
um,
wanna.
because
I wanna.
truthfully, you're creating all the time.
I'll keep going.
So if you're in negative emotion or a negative creation state, you are still creating.
Yeah.
You're drawing in other things that maybe that you don't really want, but you're saying by your emotions, the vibration, that's what you want. So the universe doesn't distinguish between
Yeah.
right and wrong and good and bad and up and down, and I mean just as you
Agree.
wish. It's like your lamp. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
You bring
Um,
more of what you're feeling and wanting and thinking to
this is
you.
where I think people get hung up though, is that that's not okay. Like it's not okay for you to be in that space. It's not okay for you to even have a glimmer of negativity in your life. Like the truth is, we're humans. We're going to have down days. We're going to have anxious days. We're going to have days where we're dropping F bombs in traffic because it's just where we are. And it's like, if there's no grace for that and allowance for that, and we've got to change that over to a positive, or else we're going to create only negativity in our life, then there's all this pressure and this shame and this guilt around being in that state in the first place and not being in a positive state. And people think you got to be positive all the time. That's not even feasible. Like so giving allowance to when you're in that negative state, it's okay for you to be there. It's okay for you to do things for yourself that would help you to feel comfortable, to reach out to friends, to get, have a conversation with a therapist, to take your medications if you're on medications, to do all these things that help you feel better. Now, when we become dependent, that's our only way out, is to escape it and to numb it. That's when it becomes a problem. Like when you become addicted to that numbing and you don't actually face the emotion or sit with the emotion, that's where it really can hinder your growth. So, yeah, dance party, let's do it. I would or yeah.
You or F, yeah. Hello, Sonia.
Both sometimes.
So
Yeah,
there you go.
so yeah, I love
I
it.
felt good.
I feel good.
I feel great.
I feel the same as before.
Maybe it was my caffeine that kicked
Yeah,
in, but I like the comments and I like the discussion and because I don't always feel that way. I mean, as much as people would maybe see me on camera laughing and having
yeah.
a good time, I don't always feel that way. Nick
I,
knows. Like
I've
there's
seen
days
the
where I'm
other
like,
side of
oh,
Ryan.
huh?
I've seen the other side of Ryan, the dark side of the moon, so to
There
speak.
is a dark side
Well,
of the moon, believe it or not.
that sounds terrible. I didn't mean it that way at
I
all.
moon him a lot.
Do not moon.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
in public.
No, you do, man. I've seen it. You've seen mine. You've seen mine where I'm down or out of energy. I don't feel motivated to create. Like on Monday we had the league meeting, and I stepped back and let you step in, and it really served for me to just step back and be in the energy that I was in, and holding space for that. So that was awesome. Yeah.
Do whatever you can to feel good.
Yeah, and it's okay for you to do that. It's okay for you to be selfish in that way and take care of yourself. Yeah. So, okay, guys, thanks for watching. Make it a giant day. As always, be giant, become giant.
Yeah. We'll catch
Uncover
you on the
the
next video.
sounds great.
Love you too.